Well, Alhaji Kashim is my personal friend. I know him very well. And he is, even by virtue of his own upbringing and the life he's led, he's what you can call a pan-Nigerian. He went to King's College, so he has friends. He's just like the former Emir of Kano, These are well, as young men, they were in Lagos and all of that. Maybe the Yaraduas as well, when their father was the Minister of Lagos Affairs and all of that. So there are a lot of cosmopolitan Northerners everywhere. Same thing with Igbo people, and same thing with Yoruba people. And same thing with every other ethnic group, whether it's Shekiri, whether Urubo, whether, they're all like that. So when anybody comes and says the Igbos are not reaching out, it cannot be true. You see, there are different kinds of Igbo people, there are different kinds of Yoruba people, there are different kinds of Northerners and all of that. So if you have an Igbo man who obviously, just like Babangida said, you must have a friend everywhere, that is insular in his own upbringing, and he wasn't privileged by the schools he went to mix early in life with people from other parts of Nigeria. It will come up that way. But I can assure you that for every Yoruba man, or every Northerner that comes up with a cosmopolitan Nigerian candidate that can reach out to all of Nigeria, there will always be an Igbo man that can do that as well. It's about getting the right person that will also fit that bill. Although right now in Nigeria, if you ask me, and that's why I'm thinking that once we can get over this hurdle of ethnicity, maybe that is why it's important that an Igbo person, should be the next president. And after that, maybe then that way we know that everybody, it has satisfied the whole country. Then we now start going for strictly meritocracy. Because the problems and the challenges confronting Nigeria now are much beyond this idea of where you come from or where you don't come from. We need competent people, people that are vast in economics, people that are vast in human management, and people that are vast in world affairs, and, that can manage this country. Otherwise, even with all this talk we are talking about 2023, some of us still have our secret fears. If this country continues to go the way it's going, will we even make it to 2023? That is the problem. Or that is a question that should be asked.
Well, Chike, good point you've made there about meritocracy. Other people agree with you. But there are others who are saying, look, we should focus on rotational presidency. Let it go round first before we begin to talk about merit. And if it's about merit, there are people of merit in every ethnic group in Nigeria.
That's right.
However, you made a good point also about the Asaba involvement in the Biafran War. My favorite books on that, The Asaba Massacre by Elizabeth S. Bird, who also wrote Niger Wife, and also the book by Emma Okocha,
Blood on the Niger.
Emmanuel Okocha, Blood
That's
on
right.
the Niger. I remember those books as you gave that story. But the issue with regard to Igbo presidency is that people from other places are not Igbo enough. They even say the kind of Igbo that you guys, from the subnational Igbo groups speak is not Igbo.
Yeah, using that word again.
So how do you deal with that? Because the mainstream Igbo, I don't think they will ever accept.
Like that. That's why I'm here today. There's nothing like mainstream Igbo. We are all Igbos. I'm sorry. And anybody that comes here to tell you that is lying to you. We are all Igbos. I'm as Igbo as any other Igbo man in Nigeria.
Okay, we've moved from ethnicity now. We're dealing with identity politics. Yeah. Because this is about identity. Who is the true Igbo? Maybe somebody else will still come and challenge some of your points. But I wanted to ask you, I asked you to maybe perhaps identify persons of merit from the Aniocha Oshimili wing that you think, can lead Nigeria. Maybe you have some names at the back of your mind, and maybe you also like to comment on what kickstarted the whole of this conversation. The front page story by this day newspaper containing 31 names of possible presidential candidates of Nigeria. I'm sure you saw that.
Well, in the case of the Aniocha Oshimili one, the truth is this. There are a few of our people out there in the political space because you don't want, right from my father's generation, like I said, we have some of the best Nigerians ever. You know, from Chief Osadebe through to Justice Idigbe, to Justice Uche Omo, to the different medical physicians, Japhet Azinge, Nicholas Azinge, Olisa Chukwura, SAN. You know, we have some of the finest Nigerians. They were all academicians. They were all professionals of different hue and all of that. But the truth is that for you to want to lead, it's not just about being an accomplished person. That's not what leadership is about. You have to come out to say you want to lead. So in what we are talking about, the only person I can think of from the top of my heart, from the Anyocha Oshimiri axis, that has been very active in this political space and has been talking about leading Nigeria, and he is very capable of leading Nigeria. I might not believe in his politics, you know, whatever his politics is, but in terms of capacity, he's one of the best you can find, is somebody like Patu Tommy. Definitely, he's out there. But you see, there are so many others I know, so many other young men of that kind of age group of between maybe 65 to 55 that I know that are from that axis, but none of them have ever come out to say they want to lead. So calling their names and all of that would just be an exercise in futility. And then if we go back to what you talked about, which is the This Day publication that looked at Nigerians generally and thought about it. Yes, there was no doubt. There's a lot of merit in that list I saw, you know. But the truth is, yes, we all want a Nigerian that is 60 or 65, or we say anybody over 65 is too old by 2023 and all of that. That's fine. But we also know that it's not just about age. And the kind of problems we have in Nigeria now might need a lot of experience to be able to navigate out of it. You see, what they're talking about, this age thing, it's a situation where, as they say in those days when we used to do chemistry, was under normal temperature and pressure. But Nigeria is not that today at all. You know, so if you ask me, the kind of people I am looking at that can give good leadership in Nigeria from wherever they come from, and that have the structures on the ground, because what we are talking about, the election is barely 2 years away, and we know how expensive and how, you know, how diverse Nigeria is. There is no abracadabra you are going to do with a new candidate today and all of that. The young man that was in CBN has really impressed me because he has also shown that he wants it, and I can tell he has the capacity. So that's Kingsley Moghalu. I don't care where he comes from. He seems a good candidate. Whether we like it or not, the two Trojan horses we have in Nigerian politics as we speak today, Bola Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar, irrespective of their ages, can never be discounted when you talk about leadership in 2023. So that's the kind of thing we should look at. Yes, there are young, upcoming talent here and there. My very good friend Tunde Fashola, any day, with the kind of experiences. This is somebody I'm sure who never thought about going into government for one day. But see what he has made out of, you know, his time in governance.
Chike, I'm your friend.
You know?
You have not mentioned my name.
Of course.
You have not mentioned my name.
There is Rotimi Amechi, who's also gotten a lot of experience from being in politics as well. So we have a lot of people.
He's also denied being Igbo.
Sorry?
He who has also denied being Igbo.
Who has denied being Igbo?
Yes.
Who?
Rotimi Amechi.
Okay, you see what I mean? So you see what I'm
sometimes
trying
to tell you, I'm proudly Ikwere, I'm not Igbo. Sometimes I'm Igbo.
Fantastic.
But my question here is, but I have a question, Ogbuefi.
Okay.
My question is two. Firstly, what would you say to those who will argue that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, because that Ebele was stressed, has already filled that space for the South-South Igbos, so that you don't need a turn now? And also, would you, disqualify Igbos in the north, for example, because you have Igbos from Benue, you have Igbos from Kogi State. If they decide to throw their hats in the ring, would they be, considered to be candidates of Igbo extraction or northern candidates?
Okay, let's start with quickly the Rotimi Amechi thing. Funny enough, as much as I hear and I think I'm in tune with public discourse, I've never heard that Rotimi said that about himself. That's news to me. But again, that tells you about this story. Maybe the Ikweres, I'm not from Ikwere, and maybe they don't consider themselves Igbos. I'm from Asaba, and I know I'm an Igbo man. Okay, so that's it. Now, Igbos from anywhere, that is the argument I'm putting forward today, are Igbos as far as I'm concerned, provided they share that same affinity, they share the same language, the same cultural affinity, and all the things that bind ethnic tribes, as a heterogeneous whole. So I don't care whether you're from Igala Igbo, as they call them, from Kogi, or wherever, an Igbo man is an Igbo man. That is my feeling. Then you also asked a third question, which I've lost track of now. I don't know if you can remind me, please.
What would you say to candidates from Kogi or Benue who are also of Igbo extraction, throwing their hats in the ring? Would they be considered? So that was the third question.
Yes, I've answered that, but there was something else you asked. That was even the main thrust of this question, but I just wanted to answer the two ancillary ones.
Well, good luck, Jonathan. Good luck, Ebele Jonathan.
Aha, that's right. Thank you. Now, you see, again, this is another of the lies Nigeria tell. Jonathan, we all know, is an Ijaw man. An Ijaw man can never be an Igbo man. Okay, look at the case of Rotimi Amechi. Rotimi, I am made to understand, maybe it might be a difference, maybe the facts might not be correct, was given that name Rotimi, which really is a Yoruba name, because his father was a great admirer of the great Chief Rotimi Williams. Now, how Ebele came to get the name Ebele, an Ijaw man, I don't know. So the fact that his name is Ebele cannot make Jonathan, good luck Jonathan, an Igbo man.
Well,
that is my submission.
Just to add a footnote, Rotimi Amechi's middle name is Chibuike.
That's right.
Rotimi Chibuike Amechi.
And do you want me to tell you the meaning of Chibuike? God has power. That's what it means. It's almost the same. It's almost the same meaning as my own name, Chukwuwike, which is the full naming of my name. God has power.
I have my own little footnotes as well. You said you weren't sure of when that happened. Was at a public event where he was described by Chief Joe Iruku, who I believe then was the president.
Professor, please.
Professor
Joe Iruku.
I do beg your pardon.
Professor.
So this is how he corrected him as well. So that gentleman referred to him as a promising or prestigious Igbo son. And he said, no, I'm Ikwere, in public, when he was governor of River State. So that's where that was from.
Okay. Chike, amidst all of this fight for identity and this jostling for Igbo presidency in 2023 is the fate of our land. And maybe soon we'll soon start having the fate of land. Whose land? Whose land is it? And I'm talking based on this grazing gazette now by the federal government, by the president. Because the conversation now is who is Igbo, who is not Igbo. But the unity of this country has still been hinged on who owns XYZ land.
No, but
what's your take on that, Chike?
Ruben had put that to bed. There's a 1969 judgment from one of my very good friends' father, Justice Adewale Thompson, who has put that to rest, that open grazing is not allowed in anywhere in southern Nigeria. And I think the different states have started making those laws, in their own states, the different assemblies. And obviously, you cannot do anything that is illegal in any state. So I don't lose any sleep over that. If anybody thinks they can try to railroad that kind of initiative in Nigeria, I don't think it will work. Anybody that wants to, you see, and this is 2021, dairy products, livestock, they are a major mainstay of any economy. Even in Holland and all those places where they do all those things, go and find out. They don't do open grazing. All we need to do now is to have those reserves and find a methodical way. Apparently, the governor of Ekiti State, I hear, is already doing something like that. He imported some cows the other day. I don't think they are gallivanting all over Ekiti State. I think there's a massive reserve that where those cows are being reared. It's a major, as far as I'm concerned, it's a major business. It's like selling spare parts, motor spare parts the way the Igbos do, and anybody can go into it. I can't even